Hello, mamas. Peace and blessings to you. This is Jovhannah, the spiritual love healer, creator of Healing Single Mothers. Today, I want to talk about sacred self care. I know a lot of times we hear about self care and we think, we go to brunch, we get our nails done, our hair done, we feel good. But sometimes we have to do what I like to call sacred self care, soul care, which kind of just takes things to a deeper level. So I wanted to talk a little bit about spiritual baths. They are just beautiful, beautiful agents for healing, for change, for growth. They don't have to be complicated. Water itself is healing. I actually had a post that I was going to share, but somehow all of the notes I wrote disappeared. So I was just like, okay, I'm just going to go live and we're going to talk about it. And I'll probably pull some cards while I'm on here too. But spiritual baths are very much necessary. I know for myself, I have to do them regularly. I don't do them as often as I should, but I know when I don't do them, I can feel it. I can tell I am super stressed. Life is just not, things aren't flowing for me. So for me, water is an element that I need. I have to get near the water, in the water, whether it's a bath, shower, going to a lake, or the actual ocean. In this past week, I went to the beach, and that, when I tell you, that just cracked my heart open, it truly did. And when I got back, I just knew, like, one, I have to get back to the beach very, very soon. And two, like, I have to make my spiritual baths a routine because I have to keep that same energy and maintenance up at all times. So you can take a spiritual bath when you just need to relax, when you are feeling stressed, when you want to release negative energy, when you want to feel refreshed and empowered and excited and invigorated. The things that I put into a bath depend on its purpose. So I also will create spiritual baths. I do them for my clients, my children. Most often, especially for my girls, I will do a bath that includes milk, honey, roses, lavender, chamomile. What am I missing? Maybe even some sugar. And that's just kind of like what's called a sweet bath. It's just something to like give you good energy, sweeten things up, make life a little sweeter for you. If I'm doing a cleansing bath, often I will use a variety of salts. I'll use black salt, I'll use pink Himalayan salt, Epsom salts. I'll also maybe use some lime, green onions, or lemon, and add that into the water as well. I also, if I don't add the herbs in, then I will either use essential oils in place of said herbs, or I will either add the herbs directly to the tub or boil them down and kind of make a tea that I pour into the tub. So it really just depends on the intention of the bath. So what I did this past spiritual bath for myself was I did a success ritual, and abundance. So what I like to call a money bath. I created this blend of herbs, and it's kind of like a tea. What's in it is cinnamon, bay, definitely lavender, clove. I cannot think of everything else. Probably some frankincense. I have it written down somewhere. And sugar, honey. I also will include crystals. So if I was doing a bath for love, I've got right here some rose quartz. So these are safe to go in water. So I would just drop the rose quartz crystals in the water with me. Not all crystals are safe for water, so make sure you are doing your research and making sure that they are safe to go in the water. Some crystals become toxic when they come into contact with water, so be mindful of that. While I take spiritual baths, or even when I'm just by water, that is a conductor of electricity. So for me, So for me, it really helps to me to hear spirit, and me to clear my mind, clear my heart, feel refreshed. And the message that I received is what I wanted to share as well, is that it's time for you to know who you are. And a lot of times we know who we're not. We're not the person that we want to be. We don't see ourselves for the true essence of who we are. We can usually, it's hard to see past our mistakes and hard to see past our failures, but it's important to really remember who you are, because you are so much more than you realize. And we have to start shedding those old stories, those old beliefs and habits that we've kept in order to evolve and get to the next level. So, you know, if you're telling yourself that you're struggling, that, you know, you won't find love, like whatever story that you're telling yourself, it's time to start a new story. It's time to release that story and start a new story. And this is the best time of the year to start doing that. So come January, you're already there. You're already in progress. It's already in motion. You don't have to try to catch up. Now is like the prime time to decide who you're going to be, how you're going to change your life, how you want to live. What does abundantly ever after look like to you? Now is the time to make those decisions. So while I am here, and another form of sacred self-care for me is a reading. Oracle card, tarot readings are beautiful practices. They are healing tools that allow me to help people, help them to tap into their true essence, find healing, find inner peace, wholeness, clarity, all of these amazing things. So I spend a lot of times working with my cards. I have a lot of decks. And tarot is definitely one of my favorite tools for healing and transformation. I can definitely say that. And yes, it is a form of self-care. It is a form of going within and exploring our inner worlds and changing things. And so when I talk about sacred self-care, that's what I mean. I mean, the work that we're doing to shift our mindset, to shift our heart set, to start seeing changes in our lives. That is what is the sacred self-care for me. It is learning to love yourself, the ugly parts of you. It's addressing them. It is calling yourself out on the things that you don't like and the things that you want to change, and getting out of your own way. So it's kind of that inner work, whereas oftentimes when we think about self-care, you know, there's the bubble bath, the glass of wine, maybe even a trip. And those can all feed your soul as well. But usually they have a more external focus. And so I just want to really touch on sacred self-care. So like for me, going out of town, going to the beach, that is sacred self-care, especially if my intention is to go there and do healing work. Getting in the water, setting intentions, bringing a journal, and also having fun. Not going to say the whole trip has to be about that, but just knowing like I'm going to this place with the intention of coming back different. And my birthday, I was surprised and went to the beach. That was very nice. So I didn't have like an intention around it, but when I got there, when I tell you, it cracked me open. It cracked me open. Oh, okay. So let's get into the momspiration. Here we have abundance. Abundance, abundance, abundance. Okay, let's talk about October really quickly. This month, this week, we'll focus on this coming week. Things are going to start opening up for you. It's time to shift into the flow. It's time to shift into a state of abundant thinking, and that is thinking there's always more, there's always better, and I deserve it, and it's coming to me, and it's easy, and what is it that I want? Because here I always talk about living abundantly ever after. And so what that might look like to you is going to be completely different for what that looks like to me. So you've got to get clear on what your abundantly ever after looks like, because it's coming to you. it's there and it wants to hug you and hold you and give you everything that you want. But in order to get abundance, you have to receive it. You have to welcome it in. You have to be open to it. And a lot of times that is where we can fall short when it comes to manifesting or, getting what it is that we want, because we're not fully believing in it. Or if, we're expecting it to show up in a certain way, and if it doesn't, then it's not, we don't see it. And so we have to get into a state where, like this beautiful bee has its wings spread open, you are open to the abundance. The bee can go from flower to flower to flower to flower, and it's abundant. And they're going back to make that honey, which is abundance. So there's a lot of things that, you have to be mindful of, like how are you speaking? How are you thinking? What things are you taking in? What are you putting into your heart and mind? If they are not in alignment with the abundance that you're saying that you want, it's time to change it up. You also have to get to a space where you're willing to say yes to more, where you're willing to say, I need more. I can't. And what I've got here with the 9 of Wands, it's almost like being afraid to say, yes, I want more, being afraid to say that something else is there, something else is coming. But we have to move out of that energy. And I feel like in this month specifically, we will be shifting out of that energy because this year kind of has commanded a lot of change to happen, and there's a lot going on around us, which is why sacred self-care is so important. You might feel that you can't get what it is that you want. And so how to remedy that is by taking care of yourself. With the Queen of Cups, you have to offer yourself love. You have to love all of you, mind, body, and soul. You have to know that you are worthy and deserving. And that comes from when you are treating yourself with love, with respect, with forgiveness, with compassion, with conviction, with commitment. You have to pour into yourself and fill your cup so that you can be open to receive, so that you are a vessel, that you're overflowing with beautiful energy, with love, with peace, with joy, with happiness. And that's what's going to help you welcome in the abundance. So it's like you're going to blossom into the flower, and the bee's going to be like, oh my gosh, look, a pretty flower. Let me go visit it and, leave some magic behind for it. And so that is where, sacred self-care and just self-care comes into play, because you have to love yourself. You have to love yourself more than anything, more than anyone else. You have to believe in who you are. You have to know what it is that you want, and you have to take care of you, because if you're not taking care of yourself, mind, body, soul, finances, it's going to be hard to expend that energy into your children. And even if you do, you're going to be tired, you're going to be stressed, you're going to be fatigued. So really it's time to step up your self-care. It is time to get into a space where you are nourishing yourself internally as well. So make sure you're taking care of your soul. Make sure you're taking care of your mind. You're dealing with and processing your emotions, whether you have a trusted friend that you're talking to, whether you are working with a therapist or a coach or some kind of spiritual healer. You've got to put yourself first, and you've got to start processing those old stories, releasing the things that you feel are weighing you down, because once you do that, you'll be able to step into the abundance that you want. And again, what this abundance is depends on you. It depends on what your idea of abundance is. So for someone, this might be love. For others, this might be a new job or more money, a new house, whatever, maybe friendships, traveling, whatever that abundance is. If you want it, it's time for you to put yourself in a space where you know inside and out, and you believe with your whole heart that you deserve it, that it is coming, and it will appear to you. So I am going to wrap up. Thank you for watching, for joining. I hope that you enjoyed this little chat and mini reading. And I will see you again soon. Peace.